Well, let's start with Adeline. So as we have a lot of questions, I will ask you to answer shortly, if possible, so we can cover as much as possible as it. So, Adeline, what are the benefits, drawback of testing at 4 Pascal rather than 50 Pascal? I'm sure you have your answer ready for that.
Okay, so for testing, I'm not sure about the benefit of 4 Pascal. 4 Pascal is because it's the value we use in the EP calculation, which is which comply with what we have in everyday in building. So 4 Pascal for the EP calculation is okay. For test, it might not be okay regarding the uncertainty, but it's for another webinar, I think.
But yeah, for the infiltration calculation, it's supposed to be better than 50 Pascal. Yeah. If you only need to sample, isn't there a risk that only the best buildings are tested?
Okay, so for the sample, I mentioned it's a sample of dwellings inside the same building. So we do not, for multifamily dwellings, we test all buildings, but not the whole building. We test some dwellings inside the building. And we also, I didn't mention it, but we also have some sampling for houses when the houses is built by the same builder. And the choice of the samples normally should avoid the risk, but with the sampling. So in sampling, you always have a risk to not be representative. But it's a balance between the economy and the test. It's a compromise we have to do.
Thank you. What are then for you the main possible hair leaks origin in French building? Have you some recommendation on one point an installer must be very careful about during the installation phase?
Okay, so according to our analysis, the worst leaks is related to the electrical component. So this is when with this kind of leaks we have the worst results. So yes, electrical components
should be the one thing to work in. Okay. Does it seem like it is the windy part of France where most tests are performed?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't look at it. Well, it's really a comparison between the number of buildings that are built every day because you know, every new building has to be tested, residential buildings, so it's clearly related to the number of construction.
Yeah, and not related to the wind.
No.
But it's happened that people build on windy parts. But
yes.
Yeah.
Maybe it's close to the sea. To the sea, so it's nicer.
Analyzing renovation impact on air tightness, do you have details on renovation types, especially for single family and non-residential?
No, not me, but my colleague Sebastian, I think he might have done more analysis. So you might contact him for more information.
Thank you. The test of older building, are these required under French refurbishment regulation or are they optional?
It's optional.
Okay. When air tightness of building and ventilation will be mandatory in every building?
Well, in my ideal world. No, it's not. No, for now we really focus on the residential building. No, so for non-residential we need more feedback.
Yeah. Do we have a constant conversion value from QA4 to Q50?
No. But it's not mandatory to calculate it.
Yeah,
but it depends of it depends of the geometry of the building.
Yeah, because we exclude low floor.
Yeah,
right. But it was fully multiplied by 8 or something like that. But it depends on the geometry. It's not constant.
Yeah.
Where can I get more information about the mandatory inspection of the ventilation system?
The new one is not ready yet, so it will be in the next month, and I think we will write a paper or something in the next month. So maybe for the next AIVC conference, for maybe in Airbase, we will write it in English as soon as it will be available.
Yeah, we may make also a webinar with all those new regulation coming up in Europe. I think there is one in Germany also, so we may have a webinar on this subject as soon as it's ready. The recording of defect identified, are these recorded as a single reason, or can the tester record several per test?
Several per test. I think the mean value is between 3 and 4 leaks identified per test.
Yeah, so I do as much as he wants, right? Okay, thank you, Adeline. Now, Irene, as airtightness testing is mandatory, how do you explain the low number of airtightness tests compared to the number of new buildings? I am not sure this was focusing on your presentation, but go on.
Yeah, it might refer to a specific country, right?
Yeah, I think, yeah, we will move and get back to this if we have time at the end. So this was more a comment. In Norway, it is mandatory to do on-site testing on every new building since 2010, and from 2002, the requirement is the 0.6 on dwelling and 1.5 on big buildings.
Okay, so we will update this information. Thank you.
From which of the presented database are data of the flow exponents available? I think it's a question also a bit for everybody.
Yeah, I'm not sure at the moment about this question. Let me see.
Yeah, we have some of that data.
You have the N in the data, okay? I know that in France it's all available, and I believe most of the countries that have 10 points measurement have this N flow exponent. Yes.
Yeah, and also in the Berkeley in the US, they have the N available. I know this one. Did someone analyze the behavior of the flow exponent in relation to airtightness of the tip of leakages? Again, I think this is a question for everybody.
We've done a scatter graph, which I can share. So that's just a very simple air leakage result versus exponent, but it's okay. I don't think it tells you very much unless you're looking for something specific.
You haven't found any correlation between the air leakage value and the N exponents. That's what you mean, right?
Yeah, there is, but it's very, very weak. It's not.
Very weak.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and also in Spain we did this analysis, but we had a lot of outliers, so it was very difficult to analyze this. But I believe there are papers already on this issue, so it would be better to have a look at them.
Okay. Also, there is a question about pressurization and depressurization. Who is performing the test in both sense, and who is doing only pressurization?
Yes, this was on the table, but I didn't have time to get through all the things. And for example, we have I believe that the ISO 9972 allows either or pressurization or depressurization or both of them. For example, in Spain, when we carried out our campaign, we prefer to measure in both directions, because sometimes there are differences because of this valve issue that sometimes happens. So we decided that it would be better to have both measurements. But for example, I believe that in Canada only the pressurization is required, and you can correct me, but I believe that most countries, based on ISO 9972, allow either or both tests.
I think it's Belgium. Yeah,
to both and take the average of the two. That's the result.
But I think, yeah, it's one of the only countries where it's mandatory to do both. While it's very positive, it's really efficient to decrease the uncertainty of the test. So maybe we will have to change the ISO next time about that. Okay, we are now quite running out of time. I can have you have a look at the TightVent website if you go, because there were questions about the difference of your tightness value and method in every country here. On the TightVent website, within the TAC working group, we have performed quite a few studies to compare, well, how the preparation of the building was done and things like that, and reasons behind. And you also have quite a lot of information, bibliographic information that you can find here. So I encourage you, if you want to have some more information, to have a look at this. Also, if we haven't had time to answer your questions, and I'm very sorry for that, please do not hesitate to contact us, and we will forward your questions to the presenter. Well, now I think it's time to close this webinar, as we are already out of time. So thank you very much for attending. Thank you very much to our speakers today. I think you have done a great presentation, and we had a great success with this webinar. So thank you very much, and I hope we will see you in your next TightVent webinar. Bye bye, everybody. Thank you very much.
Bye. See you next time.
Thank you, and bye.